مساء الخير يا جماعة، كل سنة وانتم طيبين. معاكم نجلاء مكرم عبيد حنا، تيتشر اوف ماس، مدرب اونلاين على مستوى العالم، ومؤسس مبادرة انشر علمك الخير للغير، مبادرة صغير بدرجة خبير. ده تسجيل يا جماعة ماينكرافت هاكسون. تسجيل الحدث بعد طبعا للناس اللي سجلت على الايميل، فاحنا قلنا نسجل لكم بيه سيشن وننزله على القناة عشان تستفيدوا.
Welcome one and all. Good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you're joining us from. It is such a pleasure to have you on this session. During this session, we'll be talking more about Minecraft and a way we can be able to all participate across Africa together, build a world for ourselves. My name is Joe Gaiku. I am a learning and solution specialist based in Nairobi, Kenya, working in the Microsoft education team. And it is such an honor to have you and your students listening into this session from wherever you're joining, whether you're joining us live or you're watching the recording that has been sent out. It's such an honor for you to take your time to explore and learn more about how we can make our classrooms engaging, interesting, and even bring in the right skills for students, be it cognitive skills, be it social emotional skills, be it creativity. We're looking at how we can build our students to be holistic students in each and every aspect of their lives, even as they look towards their careers beyond the academia. So during this session, we have amazing experts lined up for you. These are Minecraft masters. They have worked together with various schools on a global scale. We have brought in resources from all over the space, all over the continents, to empower you and give you all the skills required for you as an educator to be successful in the classroom, and for your students to benefit from the use of technology in teaching and learning. When looking at Minecraft for education, this is a game-based solution where you can be able to engage with your students in a world to A, deliver curriculum, or B, just to engage them in a space that is transformative. We'll have some of our experts walk you through the work the students have done, walk you through how it looks like to build a world and one of the worlds that have been created, and show you how various skills come into play to drive the improvement and growth for you and for your students. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you once again and hand the stage over to Sarah, who'll give a brief introduction of herself and take you through the introduction to the Minecraft Education Hackathon. Please go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Sarah, and I am the coordinator of digital content and experiences here at the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto. So my role in this hackathon is that for the last year or so, the museum has been developing a brand new Minecraft world based on a really exciting art installation that was made for the museum on the subject of climate change. And for the hackathon, we thought it would be a really great idea if you build your ideas on how to create solutions for climate change. And since it really aligned with the theme of this exhibition, we were really happy to donate this world for using in the hackathon. So I'll give you a little bit of an introduction to the world through video, and then teachers, I will show you some of the resources, and then we'll give everyone a little bit of a tour of what you can expect in this world. So let me show you what is going on. Just give me one moment. Welcome to Sustainable Style, a new Minecraft world created by the Royal Ontario Museum, inspired by the art exhibition Lifers by Noel Hamlin. Your adventure begins on a field trip from your local school. Once you enter the school bus, you'll have a chance to travel to an escape room on a sunken cargo ship. There, you'll meet Noel Hamlin, the artist behind the Lifers exhibition at ROM. By talking to Noel and other helpful characters located throughout the escape room, you'll be able to find clues that will help you solve the puzzles to open each of the doors. The answers you're looking for are found in a special virtual recreation of the Lifers exhibition and other galleries at the museum. Along the way, you even have a chance to put your coding skills to the test, programming your agent to clear a path through the giant coral tube blocking access to the second half of the escape room. Once you've solved all the puzzles and made your way through all 4 sections of the escape room, it's time to teleport back to your hometown to start phase 2. In the second part of our adventure, you can choose to complete a number of different activities, from art, music, and drama to math, writing, and science. All of them give you valuable information that you'll need for our final activity, where you become an urban planner, and your job is to transform the school or even the whole community into a more sustainable place to live. So that last piece that we saw in the video, that final activity, is our key part of the hackathon. So this is the world that we have created. And when you download the world, I will show you where to find it. But when you download it, you'll start here. And this is where you can choose to go on that field trip to the escape room that was mentioned. Now, the escape room field trip is optional. You don't have to do it for the hackathon, but if you do it, there are lots of ideas in there that might inspire some ideas on how to do that final activity. So once you finish your escape room, you will be teleported back here, and this is our hometown. And our job, as we mentioned, is to become an urban planner and transform our hometown into a more sustainable place to live. So I'm going to talk to our friend over here. We have lots of friends scattered through the town, and change myself into build mode so I can show you a little bit about what our town looks like. So this is our town, and you can see there's not a lot in it already. That's because we wanted to have the opportunity for you to build up the town in the way that you think is going to be more sustainable. So teachers, you will have access to a teacher site that has all of the instructions on what to do for the hackathon. So that looks a little bit like this. And if you scroll down a little bit, all of your instructions are here. So we can see the escape room is recommended and the supporting activities are optional, but the final build challenge is what you're going to be doing. There is a rubric that looks at what we're going to be assessing in your build. So we're looking for that you are building your town with sustainability in mind, that it looks good, that it's creative and using Minecraft blocks and a little bit about what our town looks like. So this is our town, and you can see there's not a lot in it already. That's because we wanted to have the opportunity for you to build up the town in the way that you think is going to be more sustainable. So teachers, you will have access to a teacher site that has all of the instructions on what to do for the hackathon. So that looks a little bit like this. And if you scroll down a little bit, all of your instructions are here. So we can see the escape room is recommended and the supporting activities are optional, but the final build challenge is what you're going to be doing. There is a rubric that looks at what we're going to be assessing in your build. So we're looking for that you are building your town with sustainability in mind, that it looks good as an entire class. There is more than enough space for that. So in just a moment, what Dan and I are going to do is do a little bit of kind of build brainstorming and show how you might be able to bring these ideas to life. And before we do that, we want to hear your ideas. So what do you think would be good things to add to this town or do to this town to make it more sustainable? And again, I'm going to fly around and give you a bit of a tour, so you might have some ideas. But again, we do want to hear your thoughts. So there's two ways you can do that. You can either have your teachers use the Q&A and put it in there, and hopefully our team will relay those to us. Or if you have a browser handy, you can use this link, bit.ly/ROM student form. And this will take you to a form that you can put your ideas into. So really the sky is the limit. We have had classes as young as grade 3 participating. We've had high school students doing this activity. It's really all about you and the ideas that you want to put together. So let us know your thoughts, and Dan is going to be keeping an eye on the form and the Q&A and writing down your ideas here, and then we'll pick some of them to build. And while you are doing that, I'll show you around the town a little bit. So maybe that'll inspire some ideas. So one of the things we have in the town is we do have some tides coming in and out. So I am going to just make sure the tides are working properly. That's how we do this. So we've got the tides here. And that might be one thing that we use for a different source of power for the town. If I go over here to our school bus, you'll find school buses all around the town that can take you to different sections. We can actually go to our power plant. And we can see that the power plant right now, if we head on inside, is actually using coal. And the coal is put into these furnaces, and that boils the water, which creates steam. And that steam is what powers the turbine in our power plant. So that's what's powering the town. And if you go around the town and you talk to a lot of people, a lot of the townspeople are not happy about all the pollution that's created by the power plant. But if we sneak behind the power plant and we look here, there's actually a geothermal rift. This is a rift that has magma at the bottom. So the water in here is superheated. So maybe one thing we could do is think about ways to redesign the power plant, and that could make our town more sustainable. So I'm going to keep flying around. I'm going to show you some other things in the town that might give you some ideas. So over here, we actually have a factory. And the factory is one of the main sources of income for this island. But the clothes that this factory produces, you learn a lot more about it in the escape room. But if we talk to some of the workers in the factory, they're not so happy about the clothes that they're producing. The fabrics are all kind of plastic. That's not very sustainable. They have to produce work so fast that the clothes aren't very well made. And it's powered by the power plant, and our worker is not too happy about that. Also, their break room is not very nice, so the workers at the factory aren't too happy either. So that might be something that you want to take on as you are building in this town to make it more sustainable. Another few things that we have that you might want to look into, we have our Ocean Research Center here. And in the Ocean Research Center, you'll learn about something called seaforestation. There's a kelp nursery, and you'll learn how you can actually use kelp to increase biodiversity around the shores of the island, which can increase food supply and also make sure that the environment sustains a lot more living things. And then the last couple things that we want to take a look at in our little tour. So we do have a couple shops over here. And these shops are selling clothing at different prices. And if you investigate the shops, there will be an undercover reporter who tells us a little bit more about how much each of these pieces of clothing in the shops last. And you can figure out which one is actually the most valuable. We do have a grocery store here. And the grocer does mention that the prices in the grocery store are currently really high because the island doesn't produce any food. So all the food has to come in by plane or boat. And the grocer's not happy about how much it costs or how much fuel it uses, but people have to eat and he's got to be able to run his store. So that's another source of ideas that you might have for how to make this island more sustainable. All right, so Dan, do you want to say hi and maybe introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name's Dan Noble, and I'm a frequent collaborator with Sarah here. We do all sorts of awesome workshops and PD together, and some content building too. And I'm a Minecraft education consultant, so that's pretty much my career right now is workshops, PD, and content building, and all sorts of other Minecraft fun stuff. And I'm coming to you from Dumfries, Scotland.
All right, so I am seeing some ideas coming in on our form, so I am just writing those down as I see them. It's really hard to talk and type at the same time. Vehicles. Recycle bins is one of the ones that I saw. All right, and let's see if we have any other ideas in the Q&A as well. All right, so it looks like this is like a pretty good place to start. So let's see, what we're going to do is Dan and I are going to take your ideas, and I'm still paying attention to the form. So if you have any other ideas you want to add, please do, and we will keep an eye on that as they come in. But let's see if we can start building to maybe inspire you of things that you can do with this town as well. So Dan, do you see any ideas on this board that you maybe want to take on?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn between maybe building an electric vehicle or maybe a different power supply. Maybe build like a hydrothermal generator, or maybe a large electric bus or something.
All right. So I am not so good at the vehicles. So if you want to take that on, I will not object. I will note that if you talk to the bus drivers, they do say e-bus drivers. So that's a little clue in the buses, but that's definitely a great idea. And maybe we need some charging stations for those electric vehicles too. I'll take on the power supply because one of the questions we get a lot is, people will say like, well, windmills are really good for alternative power, but they don't move in Minecraft. So maybe we can show how you can use some Minecraft tricks to represent that windmill moving. So I think, Joe, we've got 15 minutes to do our build challenge, right?
Yes, we do have 15 minutes. You can go right ahead.
All right, so we'll do that. If you have any more ideas, friends, please do put them in the Q&A or into the chat or the, I can't think of words anymore, the form. I'm just too excited about building. And I'm going to start showing how you might represent a windmill moving. And then maybe we'll take a look at what you're building, Dan, when you want to check in as well. All right, so I am going to get some of this just to represent my windmill. And I'm building really fast, so this is going to be a really quick windmill. I may not have time for all the pretty details that we're used to, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do a base because I don't want my windmill to fall down. Okay. And if you can think of things that a windmill needs, friends, you can put that into our form as well, or the Q&A. And again, when you do this, you will have a lot more time to take your time with it. But really quickly, I'm going to get a very quick windmill in here. And we've got the actual turbine bit. So that's going to come out like that. And then the bit our windmill attaches to. Ooh, we've got so many ideas coming in. Solar panels, green spaces, water conservation. That's a great one. Energy efficient buildings. So a lot of the buildings we've left for you to create so that you can build them from the ground up with conservation in mind. But you will notice if we, or when you get in here, if you go into the school, the walls are actually hollow. There's a space in between the outside walls and the inside walls, and there's spaces in between floors as well. And that's so that if you are a class who is into redstone, you can actually put wiring in between the walls and in between the floors. So you can really wire your school up to whatever power system you decide to use. Now, for me, windmill blades are really hard to do in a way that looks good. So I'm going to use code to help me build this windmill. Because what you can do with code is create a code called windmill. Is you can actually get them to do a straight line for you, which in Minecraft can be pretty tough. So I am going to do that. So I am going to, what I usually do is I make it out of a completely different material first. So I usually use diamond blocks because then I can really see what I have just built and it doesn't blend into the rest of my build. And then I can change it out. So right now it's going to go from where my feet are. That's what this first line means. So it means 0 blocks away from me on the x-axis, 0 blocks away from me on the y-axis, 0 blocks away from me on the z-axis. And I just want to check, this is -z. So if I want my windmill to go this way, I want it to, let's see, it's going to be 0 on the x-axis. Let's send the end of our windmill blade 6 blocks up and maybe 10 blocks in that direction. And let's see. Okay, see, we've got a nice straight line that we can fill in and replace. So that's how we do that one. And then I'm going to free my agent and I'm going to do another one on this end. I'm going to swap these around. Let's do 10 and +6. Yep. All right, that's pretty good. And then my final one is just going to go straight down, I think. So what I would do is replace those when I'm happy with the shape of them. I'm not going to do that just now because we're just doing a demonstration, but I want to show you how you can represent movement in this windmill. Because again, if you are super advanced, it is possible to make things move in Minecraft. I do it with the turbine and the power plant, but it takes a long time to learn how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to represent what this windmill is doing. Because what a windmill does is it's taking the power of the wind to move those turbines. So it's moving the blades. And movement energy is what we call kinetic energy. And essentially, what a windmill does is it translates kinetic energy, movement energy, into electrical energy. So we're going to represent that. We're going to have something moving that we can turn into electrical energy in Minecraft. And we do that with redstone. Now, you do not have to have redstone in your builds. This is completely optional, but it is really fun. And one of the things that will be added to your student sites very, very soon is a whole bunch of tutorials on how to do exactly what we're showing you, how you can use redstone to represent movement. So I am going to get some powered rails. These are going to power my minecart, so they have to be on redstone. All right, so those are powered. I'm going to connect them up in a second. And then I'm actually going to change this one because this is where my, I guess, battery is going to be. And for this one, I need a detector rail. So this rail is going to send out a redstone signal, which is the Minecraft version of an electrical signal when a minecart goes over it. So I'm going to get some regular rails just to connect everything up. Right? And boop. Okay. And then I'm going to get a minecart. And I'm going to put it on and it should go around in a circle. Yeah. There we go. All right, so there's my movement. So this minecart isn't really meant to be a minecart running around the bottom of the windmill. It's meant to show the movement of the windmill. So this minecart's kind of like a metaphor, if you've talked about that in English. It's representing the movement of the windmill. So now if I get some wires, that's our redstone dust. We can see that there. We're getting an electric signal. And eventually, if we put a lamp down, we can see that it'll power the lamp, but not all the time. So what we want to build is kind of like a battery to store the power and give it out to the lamp so that we can create a constant signal. And to do that, I'm going to show you a little trick that I love. We are going to build a pulse extender, which is like the Minecraft version of a battery. So for that, we just need something called a comparator. And I'm going to put some comparators, let's say 5 of them going that way, and then 5 more going this way. And again, there will be a tutorial on how to do this on the student sites very shortly. So if you want to know how to make one of these, I'm going to have that on that student site for you. So now that's just making the signal from our detector rail longer, and we have a constant signal. So now we could build a little generating station around that and run some wires to any buildings in the area. And then this windmill can be powering things in our town. The sheep is going for a ride in the minecart. I love when that happens. All right, so that's my one way of showing your ideas of changing the power source we're using. We can add more of those. We could add them in different places around the town, but I'm curious about what Dan is up to. So I'm going to go over here and I am going to see what Dan's doing. And Dan, do you want to talk about what you're building?
I'm building an electric bus.
Nice.
So I'm probably going to put some solar panels on the top of it to help recharge the bus so it's not reliant on other sources. I think that'll be key.
Very, very cool. All right, so while Dan is finishing off that bus, there's one thing that I want to show you. It's a little surprise that we have put into this world, and we have borrowed it actually from another Minecraft world called Manito-Abiaki. So at the museum where I work, I am so fortunate that we have Indigenous educators from many different nations across the lands now known as Canada. And it's really, really important that we learn and understand their Indigenous ways of knowing, which are a lot about how to take care of the land instead of just taking what we want. So in here, there is an Indigenous educator, Leslie. She is actually someone who works at the museum who teaches us about the 3 sisters. And there's some very special crops: beans, corn, and squash. And beans, corn, and squash are called the 3 sisters because they work together. The corn grows really, really tall, and it gives a place for the beans to hang on to and grow up so that they can grow tall as well. And then the squash grows around the bottom and spreads its leaf to protect the roots of the other 2. And I have been told that they make a really delicious soup when you put them all together as well. So one of your ideas was a community garden, and I'll show you maybe how you can incorporate the 3 sisters in that garden as well as kind of the last thing that we'll show. So I am going to, the nice thing about these ones too, is that you don't have to till the soil or add water like you normally would in Minecraft. I would expect to see that in your garden when you build it for real, but for now, we can show you. There's our corn. And then we're going to have the beans around the corn so that they'll be able to use the stalk to grow tall. And then we'll spread the squash around all of them so that they're protected. And that pig is making itself right at home. There we go. And then you can actually harvest these crops as well. So if I make a little spot in my inventory and I click, I've got some squash. So I think, let's see. I think that should give you a good start. The last thing that I will point out while Dan is working on his bus is that in Minecraft, we do actually have solar panels. If you've never used them before, they are called daylight sensors. So, because I'm seeing your comments in that form, and yeah, solar panels are really, really important. So I'm just going to use this bus as an example because I don't want to interfere with Dan's build. But if I put this down here, let's see. I get my redstone dust again. I might need to do it a little bit differently because I think this bus is built on a half level, but we'll see. The solar panels will take the power of the sun and they will create a redstone signal. So I do have to build this up so that we'll be able to see it properly. But there we go. It has to go underneath, doesn't it? Let's do that. Really? There we go. So there's our redstone signal. So you can see it's getting power from the sun. But the neat thing about Minecraft daylight sensors that regular solar panels in the real world can't do is if we click on them, we can change this to moons. So it can be powered by moonlight as well. And that is a really cool little Minecraft detail. All right, so I think we're getting close to 15 minutes. Dan, how you doing?
I am doing pretty good. I think I'm almost done here.
Amazing. Perfect. Are there any final things that we want to say to our friends?
I like the details there.
I think that's so cool. I love the shulker boxes at the front. So again, you don't have to get into all of the redstone stuff when you're doing your builds for the hackathon. It's fun and it's really cool if you want to do that. And we will be giving you lots of tutorials and support if you do. But you don't need it to create a really good build that shows how you are going to be making the town more sustainable. We just want to see that you're being creative with the Minecraft blocks, like with the shulker boxes in the front. That is a super cool detail. So we hope that we have given you some ideas and some inspiration. We don't want to do too much though, because what we want to see in the hackathon is your ideas for how you can make the town more sustainable. And I think we can probably leave it there. Nice solar panels, Dan.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
All right, Joe, how'd we do? Did we get it into 15 minutes?
On point, completely on point with the timing. I didn't want to rush you. I was so engrossed. I was so excited to see what you and Dan are doing in terms of building this world and being very creative and innovative with it. I mean, this is what you could be able to do in the 15 minutes that we did give you. I can only imagine what our educators and students will be able to achieve in an hour or two, or within the period of time that this hackathon is running. So as I say that, I just want to share the finer details now that you've introduced us to given us an introduction into the world and given us an introduction to the hackathon. I'd like to just take us through just a few seconds, in a few minutes, what are we looking at and what are we looking to achieve within this global hackathon, right? So the hackathon starts off today, 6th of June, and we have it running all the way till the 31st of October of this year. And why are we doing this is because we want to factor in all the global, all these global calendars, the school calendars that are out there. Some are about to take the summer break in July. There are other countries that will be in winter. South Africa, speaking to Bianca down south. And all systems might be at different times. But we want to give you and you as educators and students the best opportunity to participate in this hackathon and really get to learn and experience the fun that you've seen Sarah and Dan have. For this hackathon, we have prepared a lot of resources for educators for you to be able to enjoy and have your students participate in this game. There is the virtual museum gallery team that has really put together the world that you have seen. There's many other engagements that you can, other parts of this world that you can have fun in. We have mentioned the escape rooms in the museum, and so really take your time to explore this world and also build into it that which will achieve sustainability. And this is really a really great opportunity to learn those sustainable development goals that we discuss with our students in the classroom. And in the end, we do have a rubric. So we'll be looking at the various levels of sustainable development that you'll be building into your session. And at the end of it, we'll be able to celebrate with you the teams that have been able to build the most sustainably developed worlds. Then we'll be able to recognize you, and we'll be sharing with you more details on the dates for the global recognition, and also what is in it for you. So this resource has already been put on the Q&A, but if you don't have access to that, we will be sharing this event post the event so that you can have access to all these resources and make the most of it. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our next speaker. Her name is Levine, and she is a Microsoft Innovative Educator Fellow based out of Egypt, and she has done amazing things with Mincreaft with her students. And so it is an honor and a pleasure to give you this chance to share with us more about game-based learning, how you're using it in your classroom, and the impact it's having on your students. Thank you so much. Over to you, David.
Hi. Thank you for joining us at this Mincreaft Hackathon event. I'm delighted to be here as a speaker alongside this fantastic team. Firstly, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Bianca for her constant support. Additionally, I want to express my appreciation to Sarah for kindly providing this incredible Mincreaft tour. Thank you, Joe, Dan, Tiga. Thank you, Dan, for the lovely design you created in only 15 minutes. Thank you very much. If I talk about Mincreaft is such a dynamic, flexible platform that allows for endless creativity and innovation. By using Mincreaft, I am confident that with the skills and determination, you will be able to come up with amazing solutions and ideas that will push the boundaries of what can be achieved within a game. Using Mincreaft for coding, especially coding, can be a valuable learning tools with many benefits. It allows users to see the result of their code in a real time within the game world, making the learning process more engaging and fun. Moreover, Mincreaft can engage collaboration and teamwork among users, as we are going to did now in this world. Coding skills are becoming increasingly important in today's digital world. By learning to code in Mincreaft, users can develop skills that are applicable to various fields such as computer science, game development, engineering, STEAM, and more. For all students across the world, wish you all the best of luck. And I can't wait to see the innovative projects that you will show at the end of this hackathon. Thank you, and let the hackathon begin. Firstly, I will start with a video that are
Mhm.
created prior to a series of training sessions for both teachers and students. Let me share my screen first.
نجرب.
I'm sorry, I didn't use the sound again. I'm sorry.
Whether we can hold the whole planet in our hearts and minds depends on me and you. Blackbirds will stretch their wings.
So as we see, this is a training session series which I started, and at the end we will see how the students reach their goals. Let's see students' work.
This is an absolutely fascinating city which is powered by eco-friendly sources, as it has its own eco-friendly systems. Regarding the color, everything is really cheerful and have colorful images. Its whole areas are surrounded by natural views. The fact that most of the turbines and buildings are colored in white reflects the sunlight, which lowers the temperature of the city. Hence, no need for air conditioning. In addition, solar panels are used to save up power during the day to be used at night. We have also included hydroelectric power, which uses water to provide more energy. It mainly powers the farms and houses, giving that another clean alternative to electricity. There's also a wide variety of flowers to be pollinated by the bees. This ensures that the plants thrive and also acts as a gorgeous view to look at. Smart farms have been added to lower the amount of water used. As they lower it, they provide all that a normal farm can and provide more food. Therefore, both goals of clean energy, Goal 7 and Goal 13 in the SDGs, are achieved by resorting to clean energy, as well as ensuring that no pollution or climate action happens. Thank you for your time.
First, we have Lord Ebeed, please. which reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere and air quality. Clean energy also benefits the health as enjoy the connectivity system, which would definitely benefit from both human health, but they generally help. They also provide life on land for many animals. When we have a river, there's a huge source of water and provide many life. Then we have a transportation system, which runs on then there's a hospital, which provides good health for all people and other people might need. Then there's a food donation center or a food bank, which would help zero hunger and if people by the end of each month have access to food instead of just throwing away. It's also a source of disposable access.
From here, it's different projects from students in Egypt. This building creating by JavaScript using Mincreaft. The challenge was creating the codes, and after this, it was very easy to generate this building.
Bright star that shines, it's seeing in the light, and it's pointing in one direction. I just know it's right. But 17 goals to strive for, and the road is long. But maybe this is what we were meant for. We're 7 billion strong, and it's finally out of time. And it's 17 goals long. Poverty and hunger, living healthy life, education and equality go side by side. Love all the life in the ocean and land, clean energy and water, they go hand in hand. Economy that gives us what we all really need, green cities, green products, and a that's green. Now we have to come together, living justice and peace, turn dream to reality, you and me. Nations have them spoken, and the words ring true. For the words turn into action, depends on what we do. The talking of transformation, for both systems view. Whether we can hold the whole planet in our hearts and minds, depends on me and you.
See practically. Here, I have a word. I'm sorry. I think I have the code. Maybe that's why it works. This is a building created by a code. Maybe it created by one click for 5 times or 6 times. Code do everything in a minute. For example, if I want to have a place full of trees, all of us dream to live in a world full of peace and trees. Let's do it easily. To build, we have 3 ways to build. We have a block, and we also have an agent to call an agent, and also we can have the last one. We can have sorry. Okay. Flowers, we can change it to any other thing, another shape of a tree. We can change it with a block as we want to change. Okay, so that's the first way. Sometimes the coding doesn't work with the sessions. I discovered that lately. That's why I prepare everything in PowerPoint. I would try again. Okay, new project. I'll start new project.
Naveen,
Takes
as you,
time.
as
It
you
takes
do
a time
that-
to respond. It takes a
Okay.
time to respond. So I'm going to complete using my presentation. Doesn't matter. Okay. When I let or encourage my student to use coding, I must encourage them also to know or to change to Python. It's very important to change to Python language. Every step they must have a look about Python or JavaScript. I prefer to start with Python. Okay, so it's very easy. I'm going to choose the block and then the word fill, block.fill, and then the name of the stone, and then the positions of it. Okay, the position X, Y, and Z, both positions. Then I will fill operation with replace. What do I mean by the word replace? It is here the same. It may be replace. It may be hollow. Okay, if I want to have a house, for example. Okay, so this is how to use coding very easily. And not only use code as blocks, but also we can change any code we created in blocks to Python language to encourage our students to learn coding. Here is another, I started with a very simple ideas, shapes. If I want to add a shape like for example, this shape, I want to add circle, for example. If I drag it here, then I will type only radius 5, for example. Radius 5 means I will have a circle, its radius is 5. Like this picture is sphere, okay? So I will have it like this. So what is the difference between two pictures? If I stand on the ground, half of this sphere will be digging under the ground, replacing the stones under the ground and digging under the ground. If I want all shape is appear like this, I must be up at 5 places from the land or the ground to have the full shape. This is the circle. Here, if I need to create a wall, any wall, and I remove it in a minute. How I can do this? To create a wall, I'm going to use the same order, which is block. I start with the blocks. Okay, so I'm going to return down here. I will have here. If I do this -5 from 5 in X, it will not be a wall. It will be a line standing on the ground. To have it wall, to have a height to this wall, I must have a number here. For example, number 7, number 6, have a height for my wall. So if I type in Y number 7, so the wall will be created like this picture. I have a whole word. But if we are using a word, Sarah is created by another people. So if I do a mistake and I want to remove what I did, it's very easy to do it. How I can do it? I'm going to stand with the same coordinates here, the coordinates is very clear. I'm going to stand and type the same coordinate, but I will replace it with air. Instead of the stone, which I use it, I will replace it with air to remove the building which I created. Any space, X and Y and Z, I can use, okay? So here I created this wall, and I take a decision for the second time to remove it. So I use the same coordinates and remove this wall by using fill with air, okay? Weather clear, it's a comment for weather only. Here I have gameplay. Inside gameplay, I have different requirements. One of them is weather clear if I need to clear the weather surrounded me. Okay, so let's complete. If I want to share a link, I can have a link and use it in Minecraft also. How I can do this? After I finish the building, I can have, I can choose share to have a link to it. Okay, here I choose share from up beside the house. I will have the or home. I will have the word share, and then I can share this link. I can copy it to Facebook, to Twitter, or I can have a copy and add it in a Word document or PowerPoint as I did in my PowerPoint. Okay. If I need to paste this URL again, so I'm going to import the URL from home. I'm going to choose the word import. Okay, on the right side from home, I'm going to choose the word import. Then I'm going to click import URL. After I click import URL, this commands we will find these commands. What are these commands? These commands I'm going to use the agent to build. First, I use blocks to build, but at this time I'm going to use agent to build. How I can build here? When I use an agent, if I look at the word surround me, I will not find an agent. To call an agent, I must type this command first. Agent teleport to player. So the agent will come and stand beside me to try to do the tasks which I will tell him. Okay, so this is the first step. Agent have no blocks. So I'm going to provide him with a block. The maximum number I can provide him with is 64. If I want to provide more, I can change this number or duplicate it to add another comment. Okay, so if true, then I will tell him move forward 14, then go right, then move forward 14, then go right, then 10. Why I do this? I'm just trying to create this design. This is move 14, and then move 14, and then turn right, move 10, then move 10 after turning right, move 8 and 8 after turning right to find this shape. This shape I can create it with a stone and add to it some solar redstones as Sarah and Dan mentioned before. So to detect light all day and convert it into to detect it, the light all day and convert it into light at the end of the day. Here, if I create some small changes, very small changes, if I create a very small changes like this, coding is playing. is we are encouraging the student to imagine what they can do, imagine anything they can do. So here we can remove left to right, right to left to have different ideas like this. Okay, if I want to build a whole wall, what I'm going to do, and this is the third way I can use to build, which is builder. Okay, so I'm going to teleport the builder to start building to me, and I will tell the builder the places which I want him to start from. I need him to start from 5, 0, and 5. For example, from me, from my place, he will go X5 and Y5, and Y0. He will remain on land. And then we are going to place this block. Number 2, we are going to face wall. We are going to build a wall in that place with 5 blocks. If we count this, we will find them 5. Okay, so here, builder transform to 5 to 5, and then have this wall, and then after this to 6, from my place 6 to 6, and from my place 7 to 7, and from my place 8 to 8, to have this design at the end. If I have a few changes, as we said before, it's easy to do this. We can create also a filtration system and use filtrations inside it to have a clean town. Okay, so here it's just a shape. I just remove left with right. The shape changed completely. I had another shape. So coding means imagine has no limit. Imagination for our students has no limit. Thank you. I hope all of the students gain in this hackathon. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Naveen. Thank you so much for walking us through that immersion experience of what the students, your students in Egypt are doing, the walls that they're building and how they're doing this. It's really amazing to see that you know, your students are not only building using the blocks, but they're leveraging code, Python, JavaScript, block code to be able to build their worlds and build their imaginations over and above what they can do in very short. They can be able to achieve in a short time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your impact. And dear and fellow educators across the continent, I see people from Egypt, Germany, Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa. We are all, so many countries are well represented in this session. And I'm looking forward to seeing your submissions coming in, telling us what you are doing with showing us the worlds that your students are building in this Mincreaft hackathon. So let's have it as a very creative, innovative session with your students when you're teaching them on the sustainable development goals, and look at how we can drive the engagement with them. I see our time is far much gone, so I just want to say thank you for your attention. Thank you so much to our presenters and our world creator. But also, I also want to recognize the Microsoft Innovative Educator Fellows who curated this event and said, we need to do something for our students. We need to showcase the value Mincreaft has and the impact it has had, and look at a way of it that you will create. Thank you very much, and have a great evening, day, rest of the day, afternoon, from wherever you're joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
وكده يا جماعة ده تسجيل هاكسون ماينكرافت هاكسون اديوكيشن. طبعا يعني اديكم شايفين ما شاء الله، نتمنى ان احنا نوصل زي مدربين العظام ده. مع تحياتي نجلاء مكرم، بتحل مصر. شكرا، سلام.